Today we've got Terry, and Terry's come in with a little bit of hamstring pain, and he's got a tennis competition this weekend that he's needing to get a bit of a tune-up to make sure he's not at high risk to tearing that hamstring. So to start with, we're going to look at his muscle test to see how bad this hamstring strain is. So first one, Terry, we're going to do a bit of a bridging position. So I'm going to get you to try to lift your whole body weight up through there, pushing down into my shoulder.
Yeah, no, it's a bit sore and tight.
Where are you feeling that?
Right.
Up through the top there, and that's that same spot.
Yeah.
You're getting that pain. All right, now let's flip you over, face down, and just do another test, and it helps me work out which part of the hamstrings is really blown up. If we get you holding there, nice and strong. Okay, so that's not
cramping.
A little bit of a cramp.
Yeah.
So we can see if he's cramping, he's overusing other parts of the hamstring. So it'll cramp when it over contracts. So luckily he still had good strength through there. So it hasn't torn, but we've got a lot of pressure up around that hamstring tendon. So today what we're going to do is a lot of active release technique, obviously through the hamstrings, down just past the knee. So we've got another muscle here, the popliteus, because that gets quite irritated from the insertion points of the hamstring tendon, and then up through the glutes around where that hamstring insertion is. So Terry, to start, let's actually flip you onto your back, and we'll start with that hamstring. All right, so back into that same position here, and we're going to just work through the belly of this muscle. All right, and here we go. Good, bring that back down. Yeah, it's not happy in there.
No, it's not.
Good. Yeah. And in the lead up to this hamstring issue, have you had any dramas around the hips? Anything like that?
I feel like my internal rotation's been a little bit worse on my right hip.
Okay. Have you noticed like chopping and changing direction, playing tennis, that it acts up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll look at that too, see if we can sort of sort that out and allow a bit more range of motion so you can actually play competitively this weekend. Let's go. One more through there. All right, perfect. Onto your side, facing away from me. We'll get up higher in the hamstring, more at that insertion point on that tendon where you were getting most of the pain. You let that leg go, hooking on there, and we'll sort of take it through a bit of a stretch while working into that tissue.
Yep.
Oh, it's a bit jammed up. Yeah, it's not going very far. Good. So I'll find this is a really common area, you know, if they're of pain, because the hamstring, a lot of pressure through that, but also if the glute is dysfunctional, that'll pull on that same spot, and we have another ligament that sort of runs down to where that hamstring attaches. We've got the sacrotuberous and dorsal sacral ligament, and that causes heaps of grief through here. If we've got any degree of hip stability issues, you know, sort of rotation issues, like he's saying he's feeling a bit stuck in internal rotation through the hip, and just really the hamstrings, the lower glute will compensate a lot over time. That compensation sort of creates that over contraction, and then you sprint, you've got that sort of, when your legs sort of outstretched, it's really easy to tweak it and end up in this position.
Yeah.
As you're well aware. Yeah. Good. Now, you haven't been getting any like pins, needles, numbness down the leg at all?
No, not down the leg, no.
Good. So that is another thing that I'll see quite regularly. If the hamstring sort of really jams up, the sciatic nerve obviously runs through it. And so you can get this nerve entrapment that'll sort of cause sciatica down the leg. And even like, it can not always be like a numbness, but you could get cramping into the calf as a result of that pressure on the nerve. Now that we've taken all that pressure sort of off the upper part of the hamstring. Let's get now into the lower portion of the glute where that sort of gets really jammed up through there. So for this movement, Terry, you're going to grab that knee, sort of bend it up towards the chest. Perfect. Come back down. Yep. Good.
Oh.
Cool.
Oh.
Just one more in there. Okay. Now, because we've had that sort of rotation and tension through there, next one I'm going to hit is the piriformis muscle. So, this. There we are.
Oh, straight away.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, good. So we're on something there. And I'll find if this piriformis muscle is tight like this, that's when the glute has to compensate, or you can lose that control and stability, which might be the reason why it's sort of forcing extra pressure on your hamstrings.
Okay.
But I'd recommend, so there's a yoga position, the pigeon pose, which is fantastic, just to get a little bit more mobility through this muscle.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, let's get a bit more into that lower portion of the hamstring as well as that popliteus. So Terry, let's go face down for this one. All right. There it is.
Yep. Oh, that's it.
Good.
Oh.
Now, Terry, I know how much you love needles.
Yep.
So I think we're definitely going to have to get a few dry needles into that spot.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's going to feel great. Oh my God.
Great. Let's go one more there.
Oh, yep, that's the spot.
Cool. Now for that popliteus muscle, which sort of runs across there and creates more stability at the knee joint itself. Little tender?
Yep. That's really tender.
Pause there.
Holy shit.
All right, you've got two more passes on this one.
Okay. Sweet.
Good. All right. Pause there. All right, now that we've sort of taken all the pressure off, created some stretch through those muscles and the fascia there, let's get a little bit closer to the cause of the issue there and get some blood flow going with some dry needling.
Oh, God.
It's a nice
that was
little
a
twitch
twitch.
there. Yeah. Another good one. Man, this thing is angry.
Isn't it?
We'll just go two more through that hamstring and that should be enough for you.
Sweet.
There we go. So we'll let that sit for about 5 minutes to do its thing there. So it's been 5 minutes now. We'll get these out for Terry, and I think this is a really good time then to retest and just sort of see how his hamstring has responded to this. So Terry, let's get you to flip over. And we'll go back to that first test that we did. So let's get you to try to push down and drive through my shoulder there.
Oh, that's a lot better.
Yeah, good. So what would you have rated that out of 10 initially?
Pain-wise?
Yeah.
Probably like around a 6 or 7.
And that's come down to...
like a 2, if that.
Fantastic.
If that.
So that's really promising, and we can sort of... I'd say he'll be safe to go and play tennis on the weekend. Obviously, he's going to need a little bit more work around the control in the hip to make sure it doesn't jam up again. But if you've enjoyed this video and you want to watch another video, I'm going to link one on treating the knee, which really relates to this. So I think you guys will enjoy it. But I'll see you next time.